biggest yield from your fruit trees often comes down to how you prune them. And here in Southern Oregon, it's time for me to do it this week. So I'm gonna walk you through how I prune them for maximum yield. So there's a couple general rules you can follow when you're thinking about pruning your fruit trees. The first one is to remove any dead, diseased, or damaged branches. Next thing to think about is removing any branches that are crossing, competing, or crowding. I've got a couple different fruit trees behind me that are all growing in their own unique way. So I'm gonna go through each one and show you some examples of what I'm talking about and how I'd like to prune these up. First up here is my peach tree. You can tell right here, it's got what's known as a canker spot. So unfortunately, the canker sore is right here, which is right underneath the entire part of the tree. If I let that canker sore fester later in the season, it might snap in half anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and chop that one right in half right now. So I'm just gonna go in a couple inches below this just to make sure I get a really clean cut. This was quite a dramatic amount of foliage that I just cut off. I wouldn't normally recommend doing that much, but when there's disease, you don't really have much of a choice. The good thing about trees is all these lower branches will eventually grow up and it'll be fine. So this apple tree, here's a great example of what I mean by crowded. We've got two main stalks going up right here that are just gonna compete for light. And so over here we have a branch that's growing towards the inward of the canopy, and you wanna leave this inward area as open as possible. That one's getting chopped as well. Cherry tree right here is already growing kind of funky. It just has like this one giant branch going out this way. It does have another one coming out from over here. There's not a lot here in the middle that's competing, but up top here, this one branch is going inward towards the canopy, so I'm gonna remove that one. Asian pear over here, you can see that it has these two branches that are crossing and right next to each other. Go ahead and remove one of those. The olive tree back here, it's got all of its leaves still on it. Got a lot of these lower level branches that I could cut off, but I really just like the look of the olive tree, and I'm not really growing this one for yield. It does have this one main branch up the middle, and I like them to be a bit more bushy. So by chopping this main branch, it's gonna allow all these side branches to shoot up, and it's gonna have a really nice bushy look to it. This Asian pear over here is a little bit of a mess, so we're gonna have to get in here and clean this one up. Now this one is quite tall. You can tell there's some suckers up here competing, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one that's crossing this other one. I really do want this one to bush out over time with these side branches here, so I'm gonna remove those ones back. I'm gonna remove these ones back here that are going straight up. As you can tell here now, it's got a much more open canopy, and it's gonna allow those side branches to really take over. That'll give it like a way more bushy top. So one of the weird growing ones here I have is this cherry tree. It's got these two really long, just main branches. So to promote the growth of some of these side buds, I'm gonna cut these two main ones in half, and it will allow these side buds to grow out more. I also don't like when they get too tall, because then they're quite hard to harvest. So I'm gonna cut a decent amount off this one today. So I cut quite a bit off these trees, but as you'll see later in the year, they're gonna be completely fine and they're gonna bush out quite a lot. So the last one that needs to be pruned today is this mini peach tree. I literally just bought this one a couple weeks ago, but I can already tell it needs a little bit of trimming. Any inner branches, we're gonna get rid of those. As well as some of these smaller suckers down here, we're gonna remove those. This branch right here going right up the middle, gonna remove that one. So as you can see, that's a lot more open in the middle now, and that's really gonna allow those to shoot up great. Any branches growing downwards, perfect ones to remove. This one growing sideways downward, boom. All right guys, that's how you prune your fruit trees. It's gonna give you the maximum yield over the next couple years. Playing with fruit trees is a long-term gain, so even though you might have to sacrifice a little bit now, it's gonna have a massive payoff in the future. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a follow. And if you're interested in more garden help, I do videos like this all the time inside my private garden community. If you join my community, I'll help you crush it, and I guarantee you'll have the best year ever. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to give me a follow.